Welcome to the New World Podcast. I'm your host, John Paul Flores. In this inaugural episode, I'll be introducing myself, the podcast mission, goals, and what you can expect from tuning in. So please listen to everything that I'll be saying in this podcast. The aim of this podcast is to explore innovative ideas and challenging the norms and fostering meaningful conversation with rapidly changing world. Because as you can see, 1.5 years ago, 1.5 years ago, there's no chat GPT. And right now, Sora is being developed and it has been teased to us, and you can see how great it would be in the future. I mean, imagine creating a video, a full form movie with just a click of a button and just a small explainer of what the movie is about, which is crazy. And the movie looks real. And yeah, it terrifies me, and at the same time, it forces me to actually think about it. What can I do to benefit from this? And I'm a young buck. I'm not even 20 years old. I do have my own business, which is fairly successful. I'm not gonna lie. But I do know that there's a lot of things that are going on in the world right now that people need to talk about. So in this podcast, there's gonna be 2 episodes per week. So that's my plan. 2 episodes per week. So first episode is every Tuesday. It will be posted around 8 to 10 a.m. EST time. And on that episode, I will be talking about my opinions on certain things. So for example, for next week, the episode for Tuesday is why a microchip in your brain will make you lose in life. And in this episode, John will explain his view and what he thinks a brain microchip like a neural link will make you more, and how it could make you more distracted instead of making you more productive. I will discuss how this adds up with the current way we use technology and how we can excel using it and what to avoid. So, for every topic, my aim is to not be biased. Although I'm a man of God, I try to look at things on their more beautiful side of things. But I would try to be, let's say, negative as well. Not negative bad, but negative to say that hey, beware. Basically telling you, hey, if you don't do this, then you're gonna be screwed. Basically. And yeah, another podcast idea that I will be filming about is why Apple Vision is gatekeep for the rich only, why work-life balance is shit and excuse by lazy people, 5 jobs that is going extinct by this year, why some industries will be bullet from AI, why marketing agencies will never be replaced, at least some of them, some of them will lose from people like me. Why I know I'll be in jail in the future. VR improves. Are we real or a simulation? Who fucking cares? Is a fossil real? Why God is real and why you should believe even if you don't? Automation job placement, meta-humans, exploding brain chips. Not fighting in the war doesn't mean you're not affected by it. Just make sure you lose. So those are some ideas that I have for podcast episodes. And I do have a layout here on what this inaugural episode will be about, but I want to try and keep it very human. Just like I already have 2 podcast episodes recorded with a guest, and I do have questions written down for them, but I always try to basically derail the conversation and talk more about a certain opinion that they have. Because I think that's the most important thing that we can have, you know, in today's world. I mean, all the information are out there, everything that you need to know. So it really is going to be people's interest is going to be in what you are actually about. What's your opinion? What's your principles? What's your morals? That what's going to be interesting to people, and that's what I'm gonna be trying to focus on. But I would also try and see what they think would happen if AI become basically an average rate in their industry. So at the end of every episode with a guest, I do have a last question. So my question to them, so this is a segment. So if AI can, how would you? So basically, if AI can do above average at your industry. So let's say you're a doctor or a surgeon. So if AI can do the average work of a surgeon. How can you stand out? How can you still make a lot of money in that industry and be better than the AI? How would you do that? How are you going to differentiate yourself? So also, just a commitment that I want to do today. If this podcast do get big enough that I get offered brand deals or any other stuff, sponsorship, those type of things, because I do have opinions on a lot of things, they will be offering money and I would not be accepting those brand deals. So even if this podcast go to 10K followers or 50, even 100,000 followers, there's almost 0% chance that you'll see any sponsorship on this podcast. So I don't need it. I do have my own business and I do want to earn my money the hard way. And even though some people think that content creation is a hard thing and I would need to work a lot of this, so it's just worth it that I try to get some money off this podcast. Well, this is my opinion. This way. This is therapy for me. Whatever people say. This is the way I can get my opinions out there. This is my devotion to God. Because there's a lot of people out there who are basically degenerates who would do and say anything that is told to them just so they would get famous. And I hate those people. And my goal is to be the opposite of them, to be a God fearing man who at least have, even if a small platform, but if I can inspire a few people to the right path, then, you know, all of this is worthwhile. So I just want to, if you have any suggestions on next episodes or people you want me to try and get on this podcast, please do drop their names or drop the ideas that you have on the comment section. I don't know how this works if you're listening to this in Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, if there's a way to actually send your ideas by commenting there. If there's not, just go to my Instagram. It's at John29 underscore limitless. You can go there, you can message me. And yeah, for the episode 2, so for the next episode, I just want to share to you the episodes that I've already filmed. So for episode 2, the title will be Golden Insights, Crafting Jewelry, Mastering Sales, and Real Estate Riches. So in this, we have a preview of the episode's guests. So Fortune, an expert in jewelry, sales, and real estate. So the key topics here is including insider tips and strategies for success in jewelry, sales, and real estate industries. And if you look at my YouTube channel, if you haven't yet, if you're not watching this on YouTube, I bet there's some reels already posted in there that basically, uh shows the thing. So here I want you to watch this thing, by the way. So I just want to let you know about the thing. So this podcast was meant to be filmed a few days ago, but I wasn't able to do so. I've had this monitor for 4 years, yeah? 4 years, and it suddenly broke down 15 seconds before filming a podcast. This podcast. It just basically, how do you call this? Short circuited the whole monitor. And that's because before starting the podcast, I was basically telling the devil or telling whoever listens that, hey, I won't be bought. I'm going to start this podcast and I'm going to start the podcast with God, with Allah in my mind, in my heart, in my mouth, in my soul, in every single part of this room. He will be here. I will be talking on His regards, on His sides. So you would not buy me nor control whatever I say. And paparap, 15 seconds before I press the record button on my podcast studio, my monitor broke down suddenly, short-circuited. So I think Shaitan is being fearful, as he always is. He's a coward, and he can't even stay a loyal servant to Allah. But hey, he can try and stop me, or if there's any bad people here, who wants to try and stop me from saying anything, uh, please do try. I have God on my back, and you won't be able to stop me. Not trying to be arrogant here, but as they said, Maktub, it is written. Everything I will say, everything you will say, every action that I will take, every action that you will take, it is all written. At the end, it's already had happened, so why worry about it? When you look at the fighters Khabib, like Islam Makhachev, when they step in the ring, they're not scared, not even 1 ounce of fear. And I think the reason for that is because they already know hey, it's already done. Whatever happened in this ring already happened. So why be worried? Why be worried? I mean, if it already had been happened, if it has already been destined, uh, basically sold, what you need to do, if God already have bestowed upon you this destiny, then your job is to just walk on it. You don't have to be nervous. There's already a bridge. You just need to cross that bridge that God has ordained for you. And this thought in my mind every single day allows me to work 10, if not 12, if not 14 hours every single day. Because I just think to myself, if everything is already written, do God trust me enough to write that John worked for 10 hours without stop because he wants to improve his business, wants to improve himself. And I trust that God loves me that much that he already wrote that. So what I just need to do is do it again. Do as I told. I am just a soldier of Allah. Soldier of Allah, nothing else. I'm a servant. I'm a slave, nothing else. Yeah. So if you don't like this content, if you feel offended by all the talk that I have about Allah, about God, also by the way, I'm a revert. If you feel bad about it, if it's stirring up your feelings because you're either an atheist or you're part of another religion and you hate Muslims, Islam, and I don't hate any of you. I mean, somebody has to be you. Somebody has to be in the hellfire. I mean, I don't have anything against other religion. I believe that the disbelievers is not necessarily those. I'm not a scholar in any regards. It's not necessarily those people who believe in God, in another God. Let's say if you believe Jesus is the Lord, Isa, what we call him, or if you believe in Hindu, in Buddhism, I mean, you're still okay. You're still a good person if you really believe in that. What I hate are people that have no morals whatsoever, who say they're an atheist and they try to live a life of an atheist, and they curse people, they're disrespectful, uh, they cut people in line, they say bad things, they do hideous things, and I'm trying not to curse because, as I said, I believe God is in this podcast, and I don't want to disrespect His name by cursing. And I do curse a lot, and I will try and not do that here. And please, if Allah wills it that I won't be cursing, then I won't be cursing. Well, for the episode 3, so let's get back on the topic. I've derailed so much, my apologies. So, episode 3 is why a microchip in your brain will make you lose in life. So, basically, if you look at it, this is where I share my perspective on how microchips may lead to increased distraction rather than increased productivity. I mean, when we had phones, we have tablets, we have laptop, we have earphones, we have all of these things. We're still humans. We're still humans. We have the greatest access to all of this information, to every book that has been published is online. So every information, to every course, to every details that you need to be as successful, to be a success in whatever field you're in, is online. But you're not doing it. But you're not studying. You're watching TikTok. You're watching YouTube. You're watching things that are not important. You're being distracted. And I believe an easier access to distraction will lead you to have increased distraction in your life instead of productivity. You're gonna look like on the train because you're either watching VR or already have a microchip in your brain and you're just watching TikTok while looking at the sky. That's what you'll be, probably, on the average. But I hope you're not. I mean, if you're watching this podcast, you've watched or if you've listened to this podcast for almost 15 minutes now, wow, thank you. Well, that means you have a decent level of attention span. So I'll try to talk more slowly because I want you to live. Kidding. Now, episode 4 is Classroom and Contracts, how a student balances copywriting clients and classes. So, for this episode, we have a guest, Samira Man, a college student navigating multiple professional endeavors. So, he's also a copywriter. Amazing friend of mine got 2 clients in just 5 days, and amazing. He is into this thing for almost 2 years now. He's also a Muslim brother, so really do I am happy for whatever he is achieving. I do hope he achieves 10 times more because he is a good man. Yeah, so offer your practical advice for students, professionals, and in this podcast we have already filmed it. So in this podcast, we mostly talk about religion, his work, how he got clients, and that stuff. And yeah, it's amazing, amazing guy, amazing dude. And for most of this podcast, I will be drinking coffee. I have this. It's 1 liter of coffee. And I do have gears as well for the podcast. I wanna show it to you. I got a studio headphones or headset. I don't know what you call it. And I got a mic as well. I don't know, XLR microphone. So if the sound is decent enough on your end, that's great. If you don't think it's decent enough, then bye. Kidding. You can send me a message and I'll try and see if I can buy another microphone and research what is the best type of microphone. I also have this. So turns out I bought the wrong microphone, so doesn't really fit this. So it's not an XLR microphone. It's more of a portable microphone. I ordered the wrong one. Feeling me. And I did try and buy here show you. Uh Here, so I bought this. Uh, so basically changes 3.5 to XLR, but wasn't working. So I won't be I won't be able to use this. Hopefully in the future I will buy an XLR microphone and a much better podcast table than this. But yeah, if you look up behind me, see all of those notebooks? Those are all filled with knowledge, notes, etc. And if you look at top, you won't be able to because it's a secret. Yeah, it's basically filled with papers, bond papers. That is basically, if it's in foot, it's 5 feet of just pure paper, all with knowledge that I've studied in just 2 years, which is crazy if you think about it. Yeah, really, I'm proud of myself, and Allah has given me a lot of strength. And yeah, other reason why I'm doing this podcast is to improve my overall social skills. I am I have been doing my own thing for over 2 years now, dropped out. And yeah, I am way smarter than I was before, but I still have a lot of the depths of ignorance that I do have to pay off. But the thing is, when you work as hard as me, not bragging or anything, just saying facts. I mean, I work from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. No, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. So yeah, work a lot. And yeah, I do still work out so every day. And I do So what my normal work day is: wake up 9 a.m. After that, so wake up 6 a.m. So I eat, then take a nap. So when I wake up 9 a.m., I have my coffee, my water ready. I bring it to my office upstairs. Then after that, I work, talk with some clients, talk with some friends, set up podcast meeting, blah blah. After I'm done around 8 p.m. Yeah, 8 p.m. I stop. I read the Quran for almost an hour, so I try to read at least 20 pages every single day. I also record it via Loom. So if you want, let me know. I'll send you the recordings that I have to listen to my magnificent voice reading the Quran. After reading the Quran, and yeah, by the way, reading the Quran or reading the Bible if you're a Christian every single night, it's amazing. Basically lowers your overall dopamine level and makes you able to be more focused on the things that matter when you're in the office. It's basically setting yourself up for success on the night before. 8 p.m. I read it. For sleep, I still have a lot of energy that I need to burn off. So I work out for at least an hour. Then after that, I don't eat dinner. After that, I just, if there's some work to do more, I work. After that, it's a must 12 a.m. I sleep. So then wake up again 6 a.m. the next day. So yeah, that's my schedule. Very boring. And that's what life is. It's boring. So that some moments can feel like it's an eternity. And if everything is fun, then everything is not fun. It's just an average. And yeah, more background around me. The fact that I am able to do this is because I do have my SEO agency and my lead generation agency that does take a lot of time, especially talking with clients. But I am currently automating most of them. I have been researching automation and AI for the past year now, for one whole year. And I have been able to do a lot of automations. You see, I have this SDR. I didn't even know the meaning of SDR at least 5 months ago. So SDR, sales development representative, basically somebody who communicates with your clients to turn them into potential clients. So leads to potential clients. You know the drill. Was able to automate most of those. So I have automation that basically sends them information, follow-ups with them via email, via LinkedIn, and basically does the job of talking with clients for me, with potential leads. And now I can focus on the work itself and starting this podcast, because it turns out it's hard to start a podcast. There's a lot of things that you need to do, a lot of things you need to set up the wooden panels out there. I set up the bookshelf out there, bought the gears, I had to get a haircut. But there's a lot of things that you need to do when you're starting a podcast. Plus, you need to find the software to record it. You need to uh, write some ideas for your podcast. You need to uh, edit the podcast, export it, make it nice, make it look nice enough. You need to develop the grammar and the articulation that I have. I need to train it, because you can't just say all the time in a podcast. That's just disrespectful to whoever is listening. I mean, if I have your time right now, if you're wasting it listening to me, I mean, it's not a waste. I'm an amazing speaker. But the fact that you're listening to me is indication enough that I need to improve upon my own articulation, so that you'll have a much better time listening to me than listening to other people. And yeah, the New World Podcast. It's a great name. The New World, John Paul Flores. Cool name, isn't it? Yeah, just a quick recap. I'm a religious man. I will never sell my soul. I am here to speak on behalf, not behalf, but on side of God, Allah. And yeah, you will never buy my soul. I will never accept any sponsorship on this. If there's a chance to put ads on my YouTube videos, I will not. I mean, how much can you really make? few grand a month. Who cares? Yeah, I want you to enjoy listening to me, and hopefully you are able to do so. And thank you. Thank you for tuning into this first episode. I will try my best. If Allah wills it, I will try my best to get a lot more people in this podcast. Hopefully, a lot of real estate guys, lawyers, uh, real estate sales guys, marketing guys on different backgrounds, on different locations, just so that I am able to bring you different types of demographic so that you'll have more idea on different people, not just, some people they're just inviting the famous one, the famous peoples, they're just telling the same thing again and again on different podcasts. I don't want that. If one day I'm able to do that, then great. But for now, I'm trying to focus on people you have never heard of, but have some absolutely interesting things that can say to you. Because these people, they're not media trained. So they will absolutely give you their best. They will give you their best. They will give you your lots of love in terms of answering the questions. They will answer the most authentic way as possible because they don't have to be careful. They're not fearful of any cancellation because most of them have no audience, but they are great in their industry. And my job is to be good enough to answering the on asking the questions that I can actually get them to talk about their business or talk about their life, talk about their interests. And that's my goal, to get the most authentic side of a person. And yeah, hope you have a fantastic day. Tune in this Thursday around 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode. And thank you for listening to me. Genuinely, thank you. Again, at the end of every podcast, I will say this: I am a slave to God, and my job here is to tell you how amazing it is to listen to the Word of God. Have a fantastic day, everyone.